morning to the evening, and it wrenched my heart. I put him in boarding school in India at the American International School in Kodaikanal. Hindsight, he's sitting there. I think it's the finest thing I ever did. Okay, it broke my heart.
Those are moments that shape one's life. How did it shape yours? How long did it take you to come out of that trough?
Quite a bit. Let us say, put it this way, I led a fairly wild existence because, I came back home in the evening. All my friends who were married would congregate in my house because they couldn't drink and have fun in their house. So here was my house.
And they were feeling jealous because you were
single.
single.
So they'd all come, and every night was, until one day, I think it was my mother who, said, listen, things are getting out of hand now. You really got to pull yourself together. One of the things is, in those days, in the last 2 years, I have lost 52 kilos in weight.
Right.
This is the weight I had put on in my drinking years.
Right. So, and another one of the funny stories about this is that apparently your son found your new wife.
Yes.
That's a nice combination. Well done, Aditya. How did that happen?
We have this arranged marriage system in India.
Yes.
So my mother kept finding girls for me to go and see.
So he was checking them out. And
so I would go with him because he was my, say no. So,
Okay.
We went to America, and there was this particular girl my mother had set up that we see, and my son and I had dinner with her. And in the evening when we came back to my brother's house to have back, my sister-in-law asked him, he said, do you like the little girl? The young boy, he said, nah. He said, why? Now, he was totally flummoxed. He didn't know what reason to give her. She had a very peculiar South Indian name. The name was Vasumati. So he turned around and said, I don't like her name.
Okay.
So my sister-in-law said, you don't like her name, but okay, in our system, we change her name to whatever you want after your dad marries her. He said, what would you like her name to be? Out of the blue, he just turned around and said, I'd like her name to be Radhika. Chapter closed, left Washington, came back to India, dropped him off in Chennai with my parents so that they would take him to school, and I came back to Muscat. The next day, my mother, just by coincidence, met Radhika's mother at the supermarket or shopping somewhere. So she said, why don't you come home and meet my niece? Yeah, it was Radhika's aunt. So my mother took my son along with her and went and met Radhika. When he walked into the room and they introduced her and said, this is Radhika, my son was taken back. He thought somebody was playing a trick on him. But anyway, and suddenly they hit it off together. I get this phone call in Muscat. He said, Dad, get on a plane and come back. I said, why? He said, I think I found Radhika.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Radhika is there. And we were asking in one word to describe her husband. What was that one word, Radhika?
I was only asked to describe our relationship,
sorry.
not my husband.
Okay. Okay. How do you describe your relationship?
And I said that it's been an absolute roller coaster ride. It still continues to be that.
But it's good fun.
Absolutely.
Okay. But your last, we asked you 3 questions. The next question was about, is there any one thing that you'd like to share and like to say to your husband?
Yes, I'd like to refresh his memory. I don't know whether he remembers, but we had, right in the beginning of our marriage, we had this fantastic snowball fight on the Austrian Alps when we went for a honeymoon. That was one of the best fun moments that we've ever had. We really enjoyed ourselves. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damish.
Do we have the general manager for Porsche here? Could you pass the mic to him? So what was your one word to describe this gentleman?
But really, truly, I mean, his ability to see so far ahead. And in fact, one of the questions that you were asking him then was, how do you see the future?
Yes.
I think he sees it very well. You know what's coming, and he's able to.
So how does he build trust with you? What has he done to you, with you, that he built trust?
I think he just believes in you.
Okay, he believes it, but then you just follow? Or
He allows you, gives you the freedom to do, he trusts you, and he allows you to do things the way you want to do it. He doesn't interfere. He is interested in the results. You deliver the results, you get the freedom, and that's hugely motivating. You don't have someone, constantly over your head, nagging you to do it in a particular way. He allows you to, function the way you feel comfortable. And the end result being that deliver what I want.
does he terrorize you?
Not really, but he can be hard.
Okay. So when you disagree with him, how do you deal with it?
Well, I tell him.
Okay, and how does he respond? I'm trying to understand the thought process, because there are a lot of people who get into the situation. He's a larger-than-life man. He's a huge personality. He's very successful. However, you have an idea and you disagree with him. How do you engage with that?
I think
How does a leader like him respond? Is what that's how I'm trying to extract, because we all have qualities, and I'm just trying to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, he's very quick on the uptake. So it's very easy to rationalize something with him. In fact, I was telling someone, I don't have to go through 20 slides and make a presentation and then try to get to the point. Get to the meat of it, and then it's a binary. It's a yes or a no. And when he says no, there are very good reasons. And oftentimes, yes, we have disagreements because perhaps he sees things in a different perspective. But yes, I do ask him why, and he explains it.
Great, thank you. I'm engaging the family, which is the direct family, and then the extended family, which is the people that you're in your team, and so that's how I'm doing it. Aditya, what are the most memorable moments in your life with your dad? How do you remember those moments?
Well, I guess him and I have been alone together for a very long time. Obviously, as he said, when my mum passed away, we've shared a lot of good weekends together. Sadly, in Oman, there's no more Thursday, Friday, and it'll be Friday, Saturday. But we've had a great time together. But up until the point where he stopped writing, I would have to say our Fridays, where we were both part of the Harley Owners Group, and we'd wake up at 5:30 in the morning every Friday and go riding with his friends. It was probably one of the few times I saw my dad be in his complete element, where he didn't worry about the company, he didn't worry about any of the issues that he had, his health was fine, and it was really one of those feelings where, and he's said it a lot in interviews, where on the road on that bike, he was equal to every single person, every single element in the environment. And you actually saw that because he never worried about anything that happened, and I could talk to him as a friend, I could talk to him as a confidant, and it really was one of my most memorable experiences with him.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you very much. If he asked you the same question, would that be your answer?
And we used to pick a holiday by throwing darts on the map on where we wanted to go. So we have been to Australia on one side, to America on the other. And wherever we go, we do weird things.
Okay.
And so that 1 month in the year has always been family time. And even today, though he's married, we still try to do it. So,
now, what's the name of the book that you're about to write?
Is there a tomorrow?
Okay. So watch out for a bestseller, guys. Is there a tomorrow? But is there a tomorrow?
When was the day the guy said the world is going to come to an end? This,
that happened.
Mayan civilization.
Yeah, that was a year ago.
Well, there is a tomorrow then.
Okay.
Very simple.
Because I read somewhere that you said that you live your life every single day as if it's the last day of your life. Is it just a nice platitude, or do you actually do it?
No, simple mathematics. I maybe have another 15 years to live. Multiply that by 365 days. That's the number of days I have. Every day now has to count.
Right.
God has been kind. I have the wherewithal to live well. I'm going to live well. Because at the end of the 8,000 days, I'm not going to go and say, hey guy, give me one more day. You know, I sort of missed out on something. There's no coming back. It's gone. It's finished.
Fair enough. So we've done the book. The next thing would be a movie. You know, he wants to be a movie star. He wanted to be a doctor and he wanted to be a movie star. So if you were a movie star, who's going to be your heroine? Is this going to be J-Lo?
No, Priyanka Chopra.
Priyanka Chopra,
Yeah.
there you go.
Absolutely.
So it's a J-Lo has been rejected, so that's fun. So who's going to play a young Raj?
You know, if I was vain, I would say Hrithik Roshan. But if I was sensible, I'd say Amir Khan.
Okay. So watch this movie in about 5 years' time with Amir Khan playing a young Rajaram. Because Amir Khan can play anything from 21 to about 45. So
Yeah,
he
and
can
do it
play
well.
all those roles.
Yeah.
So he's done all of that. And what will be the movie be about?
The automobile industry. I can bore people to death about
I mean,
it.
you can't bore us with the automobile industry, surely.
My family has been after me. You know, I am one of the few people who has been connected with the same brand for 40 years, almost 40 years now. More than in the principles, when they need a reference point or they want to know what happened before, they call me. Because I am probably the only guy who was around 35, 40 years ago. Many of those guys were not even around in their companies. I joined the group when there was no separation between Volkswagen and Audi.
Right.
We didn't have 11 brands. We were not the world's second largest car company. We were nothing. And my wife has been after, my son and my wife have been after me to write a book about it. But then I thought if I do, many people will also get very offended. So, you know.
Okay. All right, the secrets of Volkswagen. Okay, as a final question, as part of the main discussion, and this is something that's very close to my heart, and I always ask this question in the humblest possible way. If you just close your eyes, please do close your eyes, and imagine yourself on your 85th birthday. What would you see around you? What would you be feeling? What would we be, if we were all there in 20, 30 years from now, what will we be celebrating about you? Because we celebrated your success. What now?
I would definitely wish I would still hold a drink in my hand.
Okay.
You know, and I hope no bloody doctor is standing around saying you can't do that.
Okay.
I would definitely be happy if my company, which I have spent almost 17, 18 years creating, we finally, break the pinnacle of getting to be the #1 luxury car dealership. That is not something we are. We are combined, but individually, all my brands.
My key question is, you've been 17 years,
Yeah.
I'm adding another 30 years, it's
Yeah.
47 years. Is that what you're seeing in 47 years of work?
The other thing that I see is being with my family.
Okay.
And you see, when you spend so long building this company, it becomes an integral part of you, because that's the only thing I know. I know how to ride bikes, I know how to tune bikes, I know how to race bikes, but then the damn doctor told me, don't touch the damn thing, you're going to die.
Yes.
He told me, the problem is that you've grown older,
Right.
but the urge for speed has remained. Your reflexes have not kept up with that. So the doctor told me, listen, don't try it at 65. It's not going to work. So we gave that up. So I would like to lead a semi-retired life. I don't think I'll ever retire, but a semi-retired life, because I owe it to Khalifa and the Nabuda family. As you know now, we are, In the next 2 years, we are going to be $1 billion company. And I think now there's a lot at stake. A lot, not only, and to all the people who work for me, who have built what I have. I owe it to them, to their families, to keep looking after them in some shape or form.
Have you ever written your epitaph as a training program or something? One line to describe you.
Today is the last day.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rajaram.
Thank you.
It's an amazing mosaic of life and challenges and fun and games and a lot of success along the way, with an amazing family around with them. So he's genuinely a blessed man. So, in a humble way, thank you very much for being so open and so candid with us in terms of your thoughts and views.
Pleasure. Somebody had a question.
Yes.
I don't want him to go away feeling I ducked that one.
Thank you very much, in fact, not just for the great evening of insights, but I happen to be quite lucky, as you said, and you need luck as well, to have driven almost all the brands that you sell.
Fantastic.
Because,
you're a true friend.
Because, I edit the automobile journal called Drive Me Online.
Oh, okay.
So, and in fact, if last month it was, I think it is one of the top 6 auto blogs in the world. I have your brands to thank a lot for it.
Question, sir?
The question. If you were to, you almost sound like the brand ambassador for Harley Davidson. Because the care and don't care attitude at the same time, the wildness and all that. In fact, the willingness to take the blame. Now, how do you compare your love of riding a bike and a car? How do you compare, and what is the difference in experience that you get in that?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You can go fast in a motor car.
That's the girlfriend.
But that sense of speed that you get on a bike, you do the same 250 kilometers on a bike, and you do the same 250 kilometers an hour in a motor car, the sensation is totally different. When my son was talking about you forget everything, when you're on a bike at 180, 200 kilometers per hour, you do not have time to think. You have that 30-second window, you make one mistake, you've got 4 inches of rubber holding you to the ground. You make one mistake, you're dead. It's just a completely different feeling. It's just a completely different feeling. I can't explain it to you until you come sit with me on the bike and I take you around a corner at 180 kilometers.
Thank you very much. I'd love to take that invitation, actually. Thanks a lot for the answer. I get it.
But Raj, you'll have to grow a ponytail if you be a brand ambassador.
Well, I don't need to.
And all the tattoos and things. You probably have all the good stuff.
No, I've got all the jackets.
The jackets, okay.
Tattoo? No.
No tattoos? Okay.
Next you'll say piercing also.
I was going to go there, but I just stopped. Anybody else?
My name is Arif Mirza. I'm a motivational speaker. And I'm doing a documentary on what if you lost everything and you had to start all over. So I'll be starting with 1,000 dirham in my pocket and starting from the bottom and going right back to the top. And my question is, could I share your success and the steps that you took to become successful with the rest of the world?
Please.
Great question.
How? I will actually come to you later on when all the questions are done and give you my card so we can be in contact.
It'll be my pleasure.
Thank you.
How much have you had to sacrifice in your personal life to achieve the success that you have, and has it been worth it?
And I have been fortunate that I've been backed by my family. But the first part of my life with my first wife,